I thought the worst thing about Thanksgiving would be eating alone in my apartment. I was wrong, because when the knock came at my door, it brought danger, secrets, and someone I never expected. My name is Sierra Langley, 28, quiet, cautious. I work at the small-town library in Marigold Ridge, where the biggest excitement usually involves overdue books, or an angry goose in the park. I've never cared much for holidays, especially Thanksgiving, not since my family made me feel invisible year after year. I liked my quiet, my routines, my control. But that control shattered the moment the knock came. It was just after 9 in the morning. Frost coated the streets, and the sky was a dull gray, heavy with unshed snow. My apartment smelled faintly of cinnamon from a candle I had lit, trying to make the day feel normal. I was halfway through reheating a small roast chicken when the knock came. 3 sharp raps. Pause. Then 2 more maple. My black Labrador growled low, ears forward. Not her usual friendly greeting. I froze, my heart clenching. No one should have been there. Not at this hour. Not at all. I cracked the door open and saw her. Tessa Hawthorne. My cousin, my closest childhood friend. The only person who'd ever understood me. Except she wasn't the Tessa I remembered. Her eyes were wide, panicked. Her coat was thin, and her hair stuck damp to her forehead. She clutched a duffel bag like it carried the last pieces of her life. I didn't know where else to go, she whispered. I wanted to slam the door. 8 years of absence. No calls, no explanation. And suddenly she was here, standing on my porch like I'd been waiting for her. But the fear radiating from her sharp, dangerous made me pause. Why are you here? I asked, stepping aside. Her hands shook as she entered, Maple sniffing cautiously. They're looking for me, she said, her voice barely audible. I blinked. Who and why are you here on Thanksgiving of all days? They know I found something, she whispered. I felt a cold prickle run down my spine. Tessa was rarely dramatic. Her voice trembled like this only when the stakes were real. We sat at my tiny kitchen table. The smell of reheated chicken and cinnamon clashed with the tension. She told me everything in fragments. Months ago, she had stumbled upon a ledger that belonged to our family's uncle, a man whose influence spread through towns, businesses, and local law enforcement. It listed names of people he planned to harm, names of people who had wronged him or had been in his way. And I saw our names, Tessa said quietly, and now, he knows I have it. My chest tightened. I barely understood the logistics, but the danger didn't need explaining. Our family had always danced around dark secrets, and now one of us had tripped over them. And tonight, she said, swallowing hard, he's coming. The first knock had already rattled me, but then there was another at the door. Louder, heavier, deliberate. They're here, Tessa hissed. I grabbed my coat, threw it on, and yanked her toward the back exit. Maple ran at our heels. Snow crunched underfoot. A shadow moved across the yard, too tall, too deliberate. My heart pounded. Go, Tessa yelled. I didn't wait. We bolted to my truck, tires spinning, spraying snow. Behind us, the shadow gave chase, boots hitting frozen ground, slow at first, then faster. The road leading out of Marigold Ridge was forested, narrow, and icy. Each creak of the truck, each gust of wind through the open window, felt amplified. My pulse matched the rhythm of our flight. Tessa broke the silence. I didn't want to ruin your Thanksgiving, she said. You already did. I muttered, gripping the wheel. No, she countered, voice small but firm. You're the only person I trust. That's all that matters. Headlights appeared behind us. Another vehicle, moving fast, hunting. Whoever was after her had been tracking long before she reached me. We didn't stop until we reached an abandoned cabin near the lake, one I had discovered months earlier while hiking. Rusted gates, frost-covered windows, but walls we could lock. Heat we could light. Tessa collapsed on the couch, shivering. I didn't know. I thought I'd never see anyone I could trust again. I sat beside her, hands steady. You have me, and we survive this together. No one's touching you tonight. She looked at me, fragile but resolute. I didn't want Thanksgiving to be about danger. Maybe it won't be, I said. We make it ours, even if it's just the two of us and Maple. Night descended. The storm outside grew wilder. I kept watch by the window, rifle in hand, every shadow a potential threat. And then it came, a soft, deliberate tapping at the door. I froze. Maple growled low. Tessa clutched my arm. Slowly, I cracked the door. Nothing. Then a note fluttered inside. Carried by the wind. You can't hide, neither of you. I tore it into pieces. They won't ruin this, I muttered. Not tonight, not ever. By dawn, we had fortified the cabin. Extra blankets, hot food, candles for warmth and light. Tessa and I sat side by side, sharing our first meal together in years. Burnt cinnamon rolls, reheated chicken, and steaming cider. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't traditional, but it was ours. For the first time in years, I felt the warmth of belonging. Tessa laughed softly when Maple stole a cinnamon roll, and I realized something vital. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's trust. Sometimes it's survival. Sometimes it's simply sharing cinnamon rolls while the storm rages outside. The snow fell steadily outside, a white blanket over the world. By afternoon, we had a plan. Every noise, every creak of the cabin, every shadow meant vigilance. But we had a strategy. Now then, a knock rattled the door violently. My heart leaped. Tessa froze. When I opened it, I didn't see a threat. I saw a tall stranger, dark coat dusted with snow, holding a box wrapped in brown paper. I was told you might need this, he said. Call me Elias. I know who's after you. Inside, he laid out documents, maps, photographs, proof of the uncle's our family's past debts, and a route to safety. Tessa leaned against me, relief softening her features. It's real, she whispered. Yes, I said. And this Thanksgiving, it's ours. By evening, our defenses were set. Our small meal was finished. Maple slept at our feet. Tessa held my hand. The holiday felt real, not curated, not perfect, not dictated by family expectations or shadows from the past. We had survived. We weren't waiting for anyone else to invite us, forgive us, or approve us. We had each other, and that was more than enough. This Thanksgiving, we reclaimed it. Not for tradition, not for blood, not for appearances, for trust, for survival, for each other. If you've ever had to stand up for yourself when no one else would, you're not alone. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. More stories of courage, secrets, and survival are coming your way.